independent analyst now, Evan Lucas. Evan, so I mean, is it a rough cop for hairdressers and dentists?
Partly, I think what it needs to be is that she's trying to sort of, bring out that service inflation area that sort of sometimes gets sort of clouded as to exactly what it is. And that's, yes, it's hairdressers, yes, it's dentists, but it's more than that. It's also things like going out to restaurants, it's takeaway, it's overall services as a whole. So your phone services, for instance, anything that you actually require, to actually involve, people-to-people transactions, that's all services inside of it.
Okay.
And why she's highlighting that is because at the moment, it's still rising. It's slowed in the last quarter. It's starting to ease, but it's still rising. And anything above 3% in services, that's expansion. That's outside of what they need it to be. And we've always known this was going to happen. It always happens in this way. And the fact that normally you have that uptick in goods, which we had, or supply side issues with things like petrol. And slowly but surely, those service businesses that have absorbed them over the last 18 months start to hand that through. And that's what's also happening right now, is that all of the price increases from the last 18 months are now coming through that way rather than coming through the supply side.
So, I mean, I had Stephen Jones, the Assistant Treasurer, on the program yesterday, very adamant it's still global factors that are contributing to, sticky inflation. Would they have choked on their Weet-Bix last night when Michelle Bullock made those claims that it was homegrown now?
Partly. I mean, and again, the government needs to make some form of argument that what they're doing is helping inflation, and again, trying to, highlight, other areas. So let's look at petrol. I mean, that's the one to really look at here, because at the moment, oil is actually falling. So last night it fell another 5%. It's back below $80 a barrel. So in Aussie dollar terms, at the Bowser, over the next 3 weeks, it should drop back to about $1.80, maybe even as low as $1.75. So that takes that pressure out. The other one that they always love to highlight is rents. And we know about rents. Rents is a supply side problem, yes, but it's a homegrown supply problem in the fact that we don't have enough housing. So that's the two that they're highlighting and trying to put there. But overall, they do need to start waking up to the fact that the other thing that the RBA is saying is that we're starting as a nation to accept higher prices. We're starting to accept that this is part and parcel with life, and we can't. And I think I've said this before. If you take your dollar today, if we keep going at 3.4%, which is what headline inflation is going at, in 3 years' time, that's $1.17 you need just to stand still. In 5 years' time, it's $1.43.
Well, okay, thanks for that. Evan Lucas, dose of reality for you this morning, folks, but he's good. Evan Lucas, thank you.